So we're gonna have some work done on the south side of the property here, right at the entryway at the road. We're gonna be putting in a half circle driveway right here and a new fence system to keep the dogs out of this area. We're gonna have some of these trees removed so we can put up a fence line right there. So the guys are just showing up now. I'm gonna get them on the property and get them started, and we'll check in with them in a little bit. For those guys. This is going to be the back to the face of the bar top, and so just need to do a couple little notches on these guys right there, and that'll fit in place nicely. So this will give me a template to lay out all of my barnwood pattern. Cool. Okay, I have a bunch of barnwood that's been sitting down in the basement crawl space area, which has a dehumidifier that runs 24/7, and some of that has been sitting outside, been sun bleached, so I'm going to do my best to make it look good. And I've marked the center of the board, so I'm just going to go ahead and start laying out a pattern, cutting some pieces and seeing if I can make it look good and make it work. I tend to overanalyze and overthink things, so I'm just going to kind of do it, and let's just see what happens. Kind of wish I would have gotten different plywood. This OSB is not very rigid, and I was kind of hoping for a piece of rigid plywood, but all right, we'll make it happen. Put you guys on time lapse. the final piece. That should go in. I have it upside down. Let's see here. What did I do? There we go. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. That fits better. There. And then that little piece. Voila. It is fitted. All right. So now what I need to do is sand this somewhat smooth, just to get all the splinters out, and then I need to seal it or treat it with that wood preservative that I have been using. Fungicide, pesticide, is that the right word? Basically a wood preserver and bug killer. So if there's anything living in here still, it'll die. Now each of these pieces can come off. They're not on here permanently right now, so I need to mark. I need to number them so I know which way it goes when I put it up on the bar. All right, now that it is the next morning, let's get back to work on this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to label each one of these or mark each one of these so I know where they go when I put it back on. So I think I'll just start the corner here. I'm going to mark it in the back, but I don't want to take off these side pieces yet. So side piece for now, I'll just go ahead and mark on the top. So let's see here. I'm going to do the back side of each one. Also mark where they belong on the board. Another thing I want to do is mark the orientation. So, oh dear, what did I just do? Yeah, it goes like that, right? So that will go there. That's the back side. And mark it 3. So, just like a so. If I do it consistently, where it's basically the top left corner, four. So now I know that that matches with that. All right, yesterday I learned my lesson. I didn't wear any sun protection. Got a little sunburned, so long sleeve UV shirt, hat, for when the sun eventually comes over. Got everything marked, but I was thinking through this. So what I'm ultimately going to be doing is taking the backer board, putting it up, tacking into place, and then putting each of these pieces in place. Because otherwise the board, this whole thing will be too heavy, because this stuff is pretty heavy wood. But it's really crucial that I put the center board and the side boards back in the exact spot that they're in now. I've marked them with lines, but I can get off a little bit and that'll throw the whole pattern and the fit of each of these custom cut pieces off. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a brad nailer and hold these in place so they don't move, because I'm going to have to eventually take off the clamps when I'm sanding and staining and finishing this with polyurethane, or whatever the finish I'm going to use is. 1 1/4 inch 18 gauge brad nails. I don't want it to peek up through the top here, because when I sand, it'll just wreck the sandpaper. Okay, I'm going to test this by taking off this one here. Yep, that is secured onto there. Good. So I've taken 3 boards and I've sanded the back of them. They look the same front and back. So one of the things we're not sure if we want to do is stain the boards or just leave them the natural color. So I'm going to do a stain. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a half stain on the sanded part. That really just soaks right in. Well, that's crazy. And then unstained on the other half, and then once this dries, I'll put a layer of polyurethane on it. I think we're both pretty confident we want to do polyurethane, but maybe not. So we'll see how it turns out after this sample here. I think I'm going to be more partial to leaving it its natural color, whether we do polyurethane or not. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and we'll do a polyurethane. So this patch of pokeweed is filled with a bunch of stumps and debris and stuff from when we first had the trees and stuff around the house removed. You guys remember when Matthew was out with his skid steer and he helped us remove a bunch of those. So I've been wanting to get rid of these stumps that are in here. And what is going on here? We have a fire smoldering down below from yesterday's work on the driveway, which I'll show you guys in a little bit here. So I'm gonna just see if I can scavenge, kind of do a little bit of a, let's see, where's my there? A little bit of a scavenger hunt, because I can't really see anything with this. With all this pokeweed in the way, but we'll give it a try. There's a big old mound right there. It's been about an hour. Had fun with the tractor. I'll take the pile that I collected down to the burn pit after I get some polyurethane on these. So let's see how this looks with just some polyurethane. Hopefully that doesn't bleed through. There's a knot right there. It might. There's a nail hole. It might have just bled through. I guess I can always sand it off. All right, so now I don't want to dip my brush into the polyurethane bucket here after I've touched it with the stain, because it'll bring that stain over to the can. So I got a little lid here. Okay, there's polyurethane and stain. So here's all of the stumps I was able to get out of that pile with all of the pokeweed, and I just spent the last hour picking up all the pokeweed with the forks on the Avant and I brought it down to the burn pile where there's some hot coals, and I'm hoping that I can get a fire going, so I have a fan blowing on some of the coals to see if I can get the heat up hot enough and ignite some stuff. So while that's doing that, I'm going to continue forward working on the face for the bar. And here's what it's looking like so far. Things aren't dry necessarily, but they're pretty dry, I guess. So this bottom is just the polyurethane, top is with the stain in the polyurethane. I'm going to guess that Katie's going to want to do just the polyurethane, but when she's off work, we'll let her give her opinion. All right, so 3 different
stains.
Well, not the stains. 3 different color boards, but these boards are going to be on here. It's sanded. It's basically, this is how the face is going to look.
Okay.
Which one do you like better? The natural wood look, the stained with poly, or just the poly?
The stain makes them look very different. So does the poly. We're going to poly regardless, right?
We don't have to poly, but I think we kind of assumed we were going to. It's not going to be smooth like the front doors, though.
Yeah.
But it won't have slivers and splinters either.
These have all been sanded?
Yep, they've all been sanded.
Okay. I like it natural without anything.
Sweet.
Like looking across. Because these 3 boards are very different.
Yes.
And so looking at that, I like the way that looks a lot. So I don't really want to mess with that. Okay.
So these boards.
Yeah, I figured you just flip them around.
Will look like that.
Yeah, I figured.
Yep.
I knew better than to think you would do it on the front side.
Well, all right, cool.
Cool.
I'm going to start doing the wood preservative, and then once that dries, we can put it up.
Sounds good.
So for the wood preservative, basically what I'm doing is treating this stuff, treating the boards, so if there are any insects in there, they'll die. So I'm using Pennis Shield. Can you see this? Pennis Shield Clear Wood Preservative. It's a penetrating fungicide, termicide, and a preservative. So I think I just spray it on and let it soak in and dry up overnight, I think. I know I spray it on, but I'm pretty certain I have to just let it soak in and dry up overnight. I can't remember if I've already sprayed these boards. I've done this before on the barn wood that I've gotten over beginning of this year. I don't remember if I did these boards specifically, because these are the ones that were down in the basement. It has a very interesting smell. But I know that the smell goes away when it dries. Get it on nice and thick. Those that I just did, I will flip over and do the backside, but I don't think I'm going to get the backside of these since I tacked them in with a brad nail. But I think that's okay, because I'm fairly certain that I've already sprayed these boards before I put them down in the basement. Now I don't know how wet OSB can get, so that's why I put this cardboard down. Hopefully it can have a little bit of moisture on it. So I definitely don't want the OSB to start warping on me. It's already flimsy enough. Oh, that's heavy. That is heavy. Take off my shoes. Shoes. There we go. Oh man. Oh, that's heavy. Oh, Watch your feet, watch your toes. All right. That should scoot over more, tilt in, slide into place. Ouch. Oh, that hurt. What did I do? Oh, man. All right, let's see here. Should be able to slide into place. I may need to take this outlet out first. I think I need to take that outlet out. I do. All right, what circuit is that? Do I have enough room to pull it out and twist it? Scoot, and scoot. All right, it's gonna work. Let's see here. What's holding me up? Oh, that might be too tight. Oh boy. I might have made it too tight height-wise. Well, that would be a bummer. That needs to scoot over more. Yep. All right. Come on, there we go. Right there. Ooh, is that gonna go in? That fits, that fits, that fits. Does that fit? Oh, is that too tight? No, just warped. Maybe. Let's see here, come on baby. Good. That's good. All right, it's a perfect fit. Perfect fit, perfect fit, perfect fit. I want to make sure that the edge is flush. The backer board edge is flush to the edge of the 2x4. That's good. I'll check the other side. That's perfect right there. All right. I forgot to cut this little piece out right there. All right, there we are. So cut out for that bracket there, that bracket, that one, the little notches for these brackets, of course the cutout for the electrical box. And then over here, I got a 45-degree miter, so I can match up this piece of barnwood right here at a 45, have a nice corner right there, make that look really nice. And I'll put a little bit of trim right down there. All right, I switched over to a 2-inch brad nail so I can get through the wood and the backer into the stud. So I guess I just start piecing it back together. Let's see, 13 goes there, 12.
Let's see here, this is 14. Oh, shoot. Okay, I have a little bit of a notch to make. I didn't account for these. I made the notch for this bar, but not for this bar. I need to notch there to there. Perfect. Looks like I have to do this one too. 15. Oh, maybe. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I'm going to notch it because I want to lift everything up a little bit and get a gap down there just slightly. The side pieces to length and to width, but they're too thick, and so I need to plane them down. And I have a planer that we got from Bever, so I'm going to put that to use. I'm going to power it with the EcoFlow. Feed it this way. This is the face. I don't want to plane the face, I just want to plane the back. I don't know how thick I need to plane, so I'm going to do small increments and test fit it.
right, well, here is where we're at with this area down at the street. So they got a ton of trees cleared here in the corner. That gives us plenty of room for lawnmower and stuff to maintain that side of the fence. I mean, obviously we're gonna maintain inside the fence here too, but we wanted to make sure we had plenty of room. Plus we wanted to get rid of a bunch of trees here in this corner because they were blocking a view that we have from up there, which I will insert in here to show you the before and after. It's a nice little improvement in our view of the Appalachian Mountains. And you can see I just got the gates down and they have all of the posts in here. We've cut in the driveway, which is right here, the roundabout driveway, and then filled in the burn pit and the hole with all of our soil and dirt, loose fill dirt, buried a bunch of stumps and various things about right there. So they're gonna come back in a couple days and start work on the fence, putting the fence in and the gate. So I will show you guys a little bit more detailed on this in another video when we're done with this, but for now, that's where we're at. So big improvements, lots of things happening here on the homestead. Okay, we will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.